There are times when people just need a little bit of encouragement. Doing the right thing often just takes that extra little push, an occasional helping hand, and then the right thing might just happen. Today we're heading north up to Durness in the far north of Scotland. It's on the west coast, whereas John O'Groats, its twin if you like, is on the east coast. Of the two, Durness is the less touristy, shall we say. I always find John O'Groats a little bit tacky. As you can see, it is a lovely day. Having said that, of course, I do still have my heated jacket on. So, you know, it's September. What can you expect? Now we're heading along towards a lovely little place called Ullapool. As you can see, it's a quaint little town. They're doing some work in the harbour, and you can see it is visited by rather large touristy floating hotels. Not my idea of things, but a lot of people like that. I prefer to travel independently. And I've stopped at the youth hostel on the coast, and it's a nice place to be. Lovely little town to just do a bit of shopping and wandering and have a coffee overlooking the harbour. And as we come out of town, just look at this glorious view that these lucky people in the cottages have got. We are still pretty much surrounded by mountains. There's a little bit of distance between them here. It's not like floating through Glencoe or something where you feel that you're surrounded by mountains. And of course, endless numbers of lochs. And this is again one of those sort of wilderness areas which I love. And in case you're wondering about the little poles that you see, those are snow markers, so that when it's quite deep in snow, you can still see where the road is supposed to be. Now I'm going to be taking a diversion up to a nice little single track road area, and for those of you who want to find it on the map, it's what is known as a Sint, and we're going to a little town, or through a little town called Drumbeg. There's a lovely little place on the way there, which the map tells me is called Ned. I shall look for that. I like a place that has a name like Ned. And yes, we're still on the NC 500. You keep meeting it here and there. There's something about a cliff face of the road which has got wire netting on it, which doesn't actually make you feel more secure, even though it's there to make sure you are. Now this should be Loch Asint. I'm not entirely sure if it is. with the clouds just skimming across the top of the mountains there, it does add something to the atmosphere. And this is the little single track road that we're taking, and it is a tourist signed route, which is not always the best thing. You can get too many vehicles at times, but having said that, look at this. It is glorious. The road's pretty much empty at this point, and there's literally a view around every corner. Sometimes it's not quite the view you're looking for. I'm always intrigued by 4x4 drivers who are afraid of getting their tyres a little bit dirty. Anyway, this guy needs to be encouraged to do the right thing, because I'm certainly not reversing a motorbike downhill. That's not something I want to do. If you've seen my earlier videos, you'll know that I can do the reversing thing while sat on the motorbike, but not exactly my favourite thing. And this guy had just passed a passing place, so I'm quite happy to encourage him to reverse all the way up there. Don't want to crowd him, so I'll wait until he's there. And off we go. Give him a nice appreciative little nod. Thank you, mate. Took a little bit of doing, but you did the right thing. Up and over to the top, and lo and behold, we got the coast. It's very hard not to find the coast up here. And a loch that is more like a drainage ditch than a loch. Some of these little patches of water are just tiny. Now here's a guy with a 4x4. He saw me a while back, I saw him a while back, and he's just pulled in. Thank you very much, mate. That was ideal. That's exactly what the passing places are for. Slowing down, because I think there's a little bit of something interesting around this corner. Ah, it was just some boats I saw. Looks like a good little harbour though. Now this is Drumbeg, and I've just seen some eagles overhead. Don't ask me what sort of eagles are. I don't know one from the other, but they do look magnificent. It's a lovely little car park with a viewpoint. Very pretty, but I think we'll just move on. Moving out of town, I spot the eagle again, or at least only one this time I think, and there he is flying off over my helmet. my turn to wait this time. I don't mind doing that in the least. And again, we'll manage that one. And he's just not really that keen on moving over. There's a little bit of ground he can pull onto. Let's see if I can get slightly to the edge and encourage him to do the same. And then we'll just get by. I bet you it's a lentil and he's afraid of having to pay some sort of excess. So he's given up. I'm going to try and squeeze by him. It's not the sort of place where you want to dive off into the bog. So ease it through. Shall we say that we're so close that I know my paintwork isn't scratched. Not sure about his. Not in the least bit sure about his. And he is a biker of some sort, so he should have been perhaps a little bit more interesting. Right. Feeling a little bit wary now because I've had a few run-ins with these tourist ones and that is perfect. That's why you got a 4x4. I bet you he's a local. Anyway, back onto a nice wide road with some glorious views. Oh, couldn't you just sit there, eat a sarnie and be happy? May look glorious, but you'd still need to pull over on and maybe something else. And by my reckoning, we're back at Lokasint. Right, gone round in a complete circle to rejoin the main road again. And then heading up. Next stop, hopefully, Durness. But still quite a long way to go. With views like this, sitting in the saddle, which is getting a little bit uncomfortable, I may have to replace that. It's just glorious. That low sun just giving us some lovely colours. I love it when you can see the road just sloping off into the distance and it's pretty much empty. It's as if they built it just for me. In fact, it was probably built so that the English could come up and beat the heck out of the Scots, but let's not worry about that. That low sun just making the colours pop a little bit. It's lovely. Now I'm just going through this town, and you may notice the orange light is on to say that I'm running out of petrol. And what do? Oh, I've slowed this bit down because I can't believe it. I have just passed the only open petrol station for miles. I was aware that I should fill up, but I was looking for some sort of big sign saying Esso or something. I hadn't realised it would just be a little pump in the forecourt of a tiny garage somewhere. But what else could I have expected? So, I don't know how many miles there are to Durness, and I hope there's enough miles in my tank. But this is beautiful. I mean, let's face it, if you have to break down anywhere or run out of fuel, you could be in worse places, couldn't you? Now there's a lovely little touristy route going to the left here to Kinloch Burvey, and I think to myself, I might just have called in there because it looks lovely, except that the fuel situation is getting a bit worrying. And whoa, back it up and just check what I think I saw. Well, it's 14 miles to Durness, and I did local services at Kinloch Burvey. Aye, little petrol pump indicated, and it's only 4 miles away. So I'm going to be taking that little touristy route anyway, and it is lovely. The problem is, it's a glorious evening, and what I hadn't realised is that, of course, it's another little garage with a single pump, which isn't a card-based one, and the garage is closed for the day. But a few phone calls from friendly locals, and someone actually comes out to open the pump up just for me, just so I can finish the journey. Well, Blue, that was lucky, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, food. Oh, I could eat.